In this video, I detail this absolutely filthy VW Amarok. The owner of this car is a concrete worker and they would use this car for work. As you can see, it was absolutely filthy with thick mud and dirt embedded in every surface. And to be honest, I was actually quite surprised with the unbelievable transformation. So stay tuned to the end and I'll walk you through this filthy detail. Welcome to Auto Clean Detailing, my name is Aaron. So the service that I'm giving this car today is what I call an ultimate detail, and it includes a full exterior wash and seal and a full interior detail. Now, whenever I get new clients calling me up, I'll generally give them a price range and confirm the price after seeing the car. But for some reason, I gave this client a fixed price over the phone, which was a mistake. When I first saw this car, I knew I was up for a challenge and I knew I'd underquoted, but I also wasn't going to go back on my word. I quoted $380 over the phone, but could have easily charged around $500. But the client did give me a tip in the end, and I got some good video to share, so it was all worth it. So I got to work on the inside, starting with the door frames. I soaked them with a mild degreaser and then agitated with my detailing brush and then rinsed them with my pressure washer. After that, I dried them off with a microfiber towel. The next step I did was remove all the floor mats, which were caked in mud. Now, the best way to detail dirty floor mats is to rinse them first with a pressure washer. This removes all the loose dirt, and then you want to soak them with a mild degreaser. This breaks down the remaining dirt on the mat. Next, you want to agitate with some sort of a brush. A drill brush is best, but you can also use a handheld hard bristle brush as well. Next, you'll want to use your pressure washer to rinse all the soap and dirt away. You may have to repeat the process for the best results. Once the mats are finished, I move on to the inside, starting with the vacuum. I use a brush and vacuum simultaneously to remove all the loose dirt and dust from tight cracks and crevices. Now, the carpets in these VW Amaroks are not the greatest and are quite hard to vacuum. So what makes some carpet harder to vacuum than others, you might be wondering? Well, there are several factors that can affect the difficulty when vacuuming carpet, including the type of material that the carpet is made of, the length and density of the fibers, and the construction of the carpet, whether it's a loop pile or cut pile. One common material used in carpets is nylon, which is known for its durability and resistance to stains. However, nylon fibers can be tightly woven and packed together, making it more difficult to vacuum. One of the biggest contributing factors is the construction of the carpet. There are two main types: loop pile, which means the carpet is looped, and cut pile, which means the carpet is cut or has single fibers. But I believe this carpet is nylon with a loop pile. After I've vacuumed as much loose dirt as possible, I'll move on to deep cleaning the seats and carpet. First, I'll soak the seats with a shampoo and then agitate with my drill brush, and then I'll use my heated carpet extractor to suck up as much dirt as possible. The extractor I'm using is a Mighty 8070 heated carpet extractor. It's a little on the expensive side, but if you're using one every day, it's totally worth it. Moving on to the next stage of my detailing process, I now focus my attention on the intricate areas around the steering wheel and the center console. To start off, I use my trusty steamer to help break down any stubborn dirt and grime that may have accumulated over time. Once I've steamed the surfaces, I'll then apply a generous amount of express interior cleaner, ensuring that they are properly soaked. These cup holders were filthy, so I got my drill brush out with a detailing brush attached in the end, and it does the job. Next, I take my bore hair detailing brush and use it to agitate the cleaner on the surfaces. I'll use my steamer again to ensure I didn't miss anything, and then finish it off by wiping it clean with a microfiber towel. Also, if you want to learn more about the tools I use, you can download my free toolkit guide in the link in my bio. I cover my 16 favorite and most essential tools for car detailing, so go and check that out. After I've finished up in the center console and around the steering wheel, I'll move my way down and detail around the seat. I'll then give the foot pedals a good clean using my steamer and detailing brush. It's the little things like this that make the difference between a detail and a cheap car wash. If the foot pedals are really dirty, I'll place a microfiber towel on the carpet to prevent dirty splatter dripping onto the carpet, which has already been cleaned. Alright, moving on to the door panels, I'll pretty much use the same method as before. First, I'll steam the area with my steamer, and then I'll soak it with my express interior cleaner, and then I'll agitate with my detailing brush, and lastly I'll wipe it clean with my microfiber towel. This cleaning method pretty much works for cleaning any interior surface. Sometimes I'll have to repeat a certain step, but generally it's super effective. Okay, so you'll notice on some door panels they have a fabric material on the armrest. These are glued to the door with an adhesive, and if you apply too much steam or too much water, the adhesive can begin to deteriorate and the fabric will begin to loosen away from the door panel. This is not ideal. The same goes for roof linings, so just keep that in mind. After I've cleaned all the interior surfaces, I apply a protection and enhancement product to all the plastic and vinyl surfaces. And the last step on the interior is a final vacuum, and I also double check my work to ensure I haven't missed any spots. And trust me, on a car that was this dirty, even a professional like myself will miss spots, so I always double check my work. Moving on to the exterior of the car, I'll start with the engine bay. Is that the exterior or interior? Anyway, I'll first soak the engine with a mild degreaser and then rinse it with my pressure washer, and then I'll agitate with my bore hair detailing brush. A big question I always get is it safe to wash an engine? And the short answer is yes. But you may want to cover up your air intake and alternator, and you never want to use a pressure washer with a PSI over 2000, as that will be too powerful and you would risk damaging the electrical wires. And as long as you hold the gun about a meter away and keep the gun moving so you're not pointing it in one spot for too long, you should be safe. I've never had any issues yet, touch wood. After the engine is finished, I'll close it up and move on to the wheels. Now the reason I do the engine bay and wheels first is because they are always dirty, and whenever I clean them, dirty splatter flies everywhere all over the car, so this just saves me cleaning something twice. So these wheels were really hard to clean. I don't think they had been cleaned in a while, allowing the brake dust to etch into the matte finish on the wheel. I first soaked the wheel with Iron Buster, which is an iron remover which turns the brake dust into a water soluble, making it easy to wash off. And you can see it change color, meaning that it's working. I let that dwell for a few minutes and then rinse it off with my pressure washer, and you can see all the brake dust washing away. But this wheel needed more than just some iron remover, so the next step I did was soak the wheel with a foaming wheel cleaner. I'm using brake duster with my IK foam sprayer, diluted down about 1 to 6, and this gives me the best results. Next I'll move on to the tires. I'm using a hard bristle brush to scrub around the tire, loosening up all the dirt. These tires are pretty meaty, so I had to scrub around a few times. After I'm done with the tire, I'll grab my long wheel brush to detail inside the barrel of the wheel. This wheel had huge brake pads and it was quite hard to access inside of one side, but I did the best I could, and you can see how dirty it is in there. Look at all that gross dirt just leaking out of the wheel. So next I'll use a bore hair detailing brush to detail all the intricate parts of this wheel. There was a groove just behind the bolts around the rim which was super hard to clean. After that I'll rinse all the soap and dirt off and repeat the process on all the wheels. Then I moved on to the tray. First I swept all the loose dirt out, and then I used my pressure washer to rinse as much as possible. But this had just been used for construction, so it wasn't as easy as that. I soaked it with a degreaser and then got on my hands and knees to agitate all the dirt embedded in the floor. I then rinsed it all out with a pressure washer, but the car was parked on a slope, so the water was pooling in the front. I had to move the car to drain the water. Okay, so moving on to the body of the car. Before I started, I noticed bugs on the front bumper and side mirrors. These bugs contain chemicals and toxins that break down and etch into the paint, so if they're left to dry on the car for a long period, they can damage the paint and be hard to remove. So I got out my mild degreaser and soaked the areas where the bugs are to help break them down, making it easier to remove. It's more effective than a standard shampoo. Then I moved on to the pre-wash stage, soaking the car with a pH neutral, high foaming shampoo. Now the reason I like using a high foaming shampoo is because it sticks to the car for longer, which means it has more time to break down any dirt or grime stuck to the paint. The sun came out just as I was deciding to give it a wash, but that's okay. It wasn't very hot, and it's okay to use this type of shampoo in direct sunlight. You just want to avoid letting it dry, but even if it does dry, you won't cause any problems. So after I finish soaking the car with soap, I get out my soft bristle microfiber brush to detail the tight areas around the car, like the window seals and the front grille, just areas where my fingers will find hard to reach. Next I'll rinse off all the soap along with the dirt. I'm not too worried about rinsing every bit of soap because I'm still going to do a contact wash. Now instead of using the classic 2-bucket method, I just soak the car again with soap that's left in my foam cannon. And then I grab 2 microfiber towels and fold them in half, and then I fold them in half again, giving me 8 sides to work with. I do it like this because it means I don't have to waste time going back and forth to a wash bucket. When one side of the towel gets dirty, I just flip it over to a clean side and continue washing. If I'm working on a really dirty car and I use all 8 sides, instead of rinsing the towel, which is not that effective anyway, even if you have a grit guard, I'll just replace the towel with a completely clean towel. I'll wash the car in a back and forth motion. You never want to wash in a circular motion as you're more likely to cause swirls. Washing in a back and forth motion in a straight line is best. It's also best to wash from the top down, as the bottom of the car is dirtier than the top. I'll work my way around the car section by section, ensuring I don't miss any areas. Once the contact wash is complete, I'll rinse all the soap off, ready for the drying stage. Now the best way to dry a car is by using a blow dryer and a plush microfiber towel. I don't have a blow dryer today, so I make do by drying the the car with 2 microfiber towels. After drying the car, I apply a spray-on sealant called Bead Maker, and I also use a tire shine to dress the tires, which I don't actually show in the video. Now, I know there are many ways to detail a car, but I've been detailing cars for over 10 years and have used every cleaning method under the sun. I've found that the system I use is the most effective and efficient way for me as a mobile car detailer, especially when I have 2 or 3 cars on in one day. I have to be as quick as possible but still deliver incredible results, and this does just that. Let me know in the comments what your cleaning method is. I love hearing your ideas. And if you're wondering about the time it took, this car took me about 5 hours to complete and the client was extremely happy. Just check out these results. And also, if you're interested in starting your own car detailing business, or you already have a detailing business but you just want to learn how to grow and scale, then be sure to check out my free workshop. You can find the link below. Please subscribe and thanks for watching.